Today we just want to send our love and condolences to you, uh, to particularly to Sister Sheila, to uh, Pastor Yoganathan's children, um, Christina and Godfrey, as the loss of your dad, the grandchildren. And we just pray for you. We love you. We've had this wonderful relationship, almost 4 decades. We've been friends and partners in ministry with the Yoganathan family and with a team of leaders from Sri Lanka, many from the United States as well. I remember when we first met Pastor Yoga in the Hill Country. The Lord had been dealing with us. Our team at Asian Net Ministries had been working in the Hill Country for about 4 years. Actually all over the island, and we were beginning to focus on the Hill Country. God gave us a heart for the estate workers and spoke to us to start planting churches in the Hill Country. And we were praying for a partner to help us to do that. At the same time, unknown to us, Pastor Yoga was praying for a partner to increase the church planting ministry that God had put in his heart. He had already planted the Hatton Church and started churches in Maskelia and Bogawantalawa, but he wanted to plant more, but he felt like he needed a partner. And then just by what seemed to us be happenstance, circumstance, not planned, we met Pastor Yoganathan. We had been working with an Anglican priest named Father Augustine Phillips in Badula. He had set up an open-air meeting for us in that area, and then he had to quickly go to Colombo one evening because one of his parishioners had passed, and he had to go and be with the family in the capital. He called me, said, I can't be at the meeting tonight because of this emergency, but I've asked a friend of mine, Pastor Yoganathan, to come with his team to help you with the meeting. They'll do the worship and they'll help you with the details of the meeting. So we didn't know who this was. We were just waiting for this new team to arrive, and Pastor Yoga came. We met. We did the meeting together, and we immediately took a liking to each other. Afterwards and during the next couple of days during the meeting, I shared my heart for the nation of Sri Lanka, our vision to do open-air meetings in the Hill Country, to plant churches afterward. He shared his vision of doing the same. And so we decided, let's start doing some things together. And our relationship grew. We started planting one church and then another church. I remember those early days when we had no money. We just planted our first little church, I think that we actually built a building, was on donated land in Kotagala, a wooden building that I don't think lasted very long because it wasn't very strong. But over the years, we did more crusades and planted churches in Upcott with Pastor Francis and Ginigatena with Pastor Kumar and many others. I have a long list on a piece of paper of churches that we planted and the names of the young Timotheans who took them over. We were all young men in those days. I was in my late 20s when we started and early 30s during those years. And Pastor Yoganathan was young, and the children, I remember Christina was this cute little girl, and Godfrey, who called Sana, he was probably 2 at the time, maybe less. And we were working together as these young families trying to do God's work in the Hill Country. And over the years, we planted together probably 36 churches in those early years. We brought other churches from the United States, like Manna Church with Pastor Michael Fletcher and Tommy Cartwright, and others that were affiliated with them began coming. Other churches with the Assemblies of God joined in, and different leaders like Clarence and Irene Cope came and helped. And we became this great family and partners in ministry to touch the Hill Country with the gospel. It was a wonderful time. I think now the group of churches that Pastor Yoganathan had a hand in is probably close to 100 now, maybe more, I'm not sure. But we've had this long run of closing in on 40 years, 36, 37 years of working together. It's been a real honor to me to be a part of all of that, to be a good friend, a close friend with Pastor Yoga and Sheila, to see Christina and Godfrey grow up. Even through these difficult years for the country and during COVID, we've been able to stay in touch, and we've been honored to be a part of your family. And now we grieve with you in the loss of a good friend. Yoga was a good friend, and we grieve in the loss of our dear friend, but we know he's with Jesus. We will see him again one day. And we pray for you, Sister Sheila. We pray for you, Christina, and Godfrey. We honor you. You shared your dad with us and allowed him to do what God had called. And he had a great work, and it was a hard work. But we are honored to be a part of your lives. I want to challenge the young people, especially young leaders in Sri Lanka, to take the example of Pastor Yoga and become a people of courage and willing to take risks and believe God for great things. When we started, all of us had very little, but we took risks and believed God for great things, and the Lord honored our faith and did something more than even we thought he could do. And I want to challenge all the young people who are hearing my voice to just trust God. I can tell you now as an older man that the Lord will honor your faith and honor your obedience just like he did Pastor Yoga. Pastor Yoga was a man of prayer. He was a man of integrity. He grabbed a hold of the grace and the presence and the power of God and what Jesus Christ had done for him personally, what he believed Jesus Christ could do for others if we just preach the gospel and believe God for great things. So our hearts are with you. We pray for you. We love you. Thank you for allowing me and my family, my wife and I, our team, to be a part of your lives. God bless you all now as you grieve and you say goodbye to our dear friend, Pastor Yoganathan. Blessings to you.